Hello, everyone, and welcome to another exciting episode of English Broadcast Studio. Today, we're diving into a topic that can transform your life, the power of positive thinking. John here, and I'm joined by my co-host, Sarah.
Hey, John! I'm so excited to talk about this today. The power of positive thinking is something that has completely changed my perspective on life. It's not just about thinking happy thoughts. It's about creating a mindset that empowers you to overcome obstacles, achieve your goals, and live a life full of possibilities.
Exactly, Sarah. Positive thinking isn't about ignoring the challenges we face. It's about how we respond to those challenges. Today, we'll break down how positive thinking can change your life and why it's so important.
That's right, John, and we'll also be sharing some practical tips and strategies that you can use to cultivate a positive mindset every single day. By the end of this episode, we hope you'll feel inspired and ready to start living a more positive, fulfilling life.
Let's start with the basics. What exactly is positive thinking? Some people might think it's just about smiling and being optimistic, but it's much deeper than that, right?
Absolutely. Positive thinking is a mental attitude that focuses on the bright side of life, but it's more than just thinking good thoughts. It involves focusing on solutions rather than problems, seeing opportunities instead of obstacles, and adopting an overall positive outlook on life.
It's about choosing how we interpret situations. Let's take a real-life example. Imagine you're facing a big challenge at work or school. A negative person might think, "I'll never be able to handle this," while someone with a positive mindset might think, "This is tough, but I'll figure it out. I've faced challenges before, and I came out stronger."
Exactly. And that shift in mindset makes a world of difference. It's not about pretending everything is perfect. It's about training your mind to look for solutions and remain hopeful, even in difficult times.
Chapter 2. The science behind positive thinking. So, Sarah, now that we know what positive thinking is, let's dive into why it works. What does science have to say about the power of positive thinking?
Great question, John. Positive thinking has been shown to have numerous benefits. Research suggests that when we think positively, we reduce stress, improve our mental health, and even boost our immune system. Studies show that people who practice positive thinking have a lower risk of depression and anxiety. It literally changes the way our brain works.
That's fascinating. So our thoughts actually influence our physical health.
Yes, absolutely. It's all about how our brains process information. When we focus on positive thoughts, our brains release chemicals like dopamine and serotonin, which are linked to happiness and well-being. On the other hand, negative thoughts can increase stress hormones like cortisol, which can harm our health over time.
Wow, so just thinking positively can have a tangible impact on our body's chemistry. That's really powerful.
It really is. And it doesn't just stop at health. Positive thinking can also improve our relationships, help us achieve goals, and increase our resilience. When you face challenges with a positive mindset, you're more likely to keep going even when things get tough.
Chapter 3. Overcoming Negative Thinking. Now, let's talk about something that's a little harder for a lot of people, overcoming negative thinking. It's so easy to fall into negative thought patterns, especially when life gets tough, but how can we break out of that cycle?
It's definitely not easy, John, but it's absolutely possible. One of the first steps is becoming aware of those negative thoughts. Often, we don't even realize we're thinking negatively until it starts affecting us. The key is to catch yourself in the moment.
So, awareness is the first step. Once we're aware of our negative thoughts, what's next?
The next step is to challenge those thoughts. Ask yourself, is this thought really true? Is there another way to look at this situation? For example, if you think, I'm terrible at this, try reframing it to, I'm still learning and I'm getting better every day. It's all about shifting your perspective.
That sounds really empowering. You're not just passively accepting the negative thought, you're actively challenging it.
Exactly. And with practice, it becomes easier to replace negative thoughts with positive ones. It doesn't happen overnight, but the more you practice, the more natural it will feel.
Chapter 4, Building a Positive Mindset for Success. Now that we've talked about overcoming negative thinking, let's discuss how to build a positive mindset that sets us up for success. How can we train our minds to stay positive even when things aren't going well?
One of the most effective strategies is to practice gratitude. By focusing on the things you're thankful for, you start to shift your focus away from what's going wrong and start appreciating what's going right. This helps you maintain a positive outlook even during challenging times.
Gratitude is such a powerful tool. I've personally noticed that when I take a moment each day to reflect on the things I'm grateful for, it helps me feel more positive and energized.
Absolutely. Another great technique is visualization. By imagining yourself achieving your goals and living your best life, you send a message to your brain that success is possible. Visualization can boost your confidence and help you stay motivated.
I love that. It's like you're creating a mental roadmap for your success.
Exactly. And don't forget about positive affirmations. These are powerful statements that reinforce your self-worth and belief in your abilities. By repeating positive affirmations every day, you're reprogramming your mind to focus on your strengths and capabilities.
Chapter 5, The Role of Optimism in Positive Thinking. Sarah, let's take a moment to talk about optimism. How does optimism play into positive thinking?
Great question, John. Optimism is one of the cornerstones of positive thinking. It's the belief that no matter how tough the situation, things will eventually work out. Optimists are more likely to see setbacks as temporary and manageable, rather than permanent or overwhelming.
So being optimistic doesn't mean ignoring the bad stuff. It's more about believing that things can improve, right?
Exactly. It's not about denying reality or pretending everything is perfect. It's about recognizing that no matter how bad things may seem in the moment, there is always a potential for things to get better. And that belief gives you the motivation and resilience to keep going.
I think that's really powerful. How do you maintain optimism, especially when life throws curveballs at you?
It's definitely a challenge, John, but there are strategies that can help. One technique is to focus on your past successes. Reflecting on times when you faced difficult situations and come out stronger can help remind you that you're capable of overcoming challenges.
That makes a lot of sense. So optimism is also about recalling the strength you've shown in the past, even when things were tough.
Exactly. And another strategy is to surround yourself with positive influences, people who lift you up, inspire you, and encourage your growth. When you're around optimistic people, it's easier to adopt a positive mindset yourself.
Chapter 6, The Power of Self-Belief. Let's dive deeper into self-belief. Sarah, why is self-belief such a key component of positive thinking?
Self-belief is the foundation of everything. When you believe in yourself, you're more likely to take risks, pursue your dreams, and persist in the face of challenges. Without self-belief, it's easy to get discouraged and give up.
So it's about trusting your abilities and knowing that you can handle whatever comes your way.
Exactly. When you believe in yourself, you develop the confidence to tackle challenges head on, knowing that you have the resources to overcome them. Self-belief isn't about thinking you're perfect. It's about knowing that you have what it takes to learn, grow.
Let's talk about overcoming some of life's toughest challenges. Sarah, how can positive thinking help us through really difficult situations?
Great topic, John. Life is full of challenges, and it's easy to get discouraged. But positive thinking can be a powerful tool for overcoming adversity. One of the key aspects of positive thinking is resilience, the ability to bounce back after setbacks. When you maintain a positive mindset, you're better able to stay focused on solutions rather than getting stuck in despair.
So it's about staying focused on what you can control rather than letting the challenges control you.
Exactly. Life isn't always going to be smooth sailing, but with a positive mindset, you can approach each challenge as an opportunity to grow and learn. You may not have control over every circumstance, but you always have control over how you respond.
That's so empowering. It's like we can choose to see challenges as stepping stones rather than roadblocks.
Yes, and that shift in perspective can make all the difference. When you embrace challenges with a positive attitude, you open yourself up to new possibilities and solutions, and that's where the real growth happens.
Chapter 9. The Impact of Positive Thinking on Health and Well-Being. Sarah, we've been talking a lot about the mental and emotional benefits of positive thinking, but how does it actually impact our physical health?
That's a great question, John. Positive thinking has been linked to better overall health. When you maintain a positive mindset, you're more likely to engage in healthy habits like exercising, eating well, and getting enough sleep. Additionally, positive thinking can reduce the impact of stress on your body, which in turn boosts your immune system and helps you recover faster from illness.
So, positive thinking doesn't just help our mind, it helps our body as well.
Exactly. Positive thinking can lower your blood pressure, reduce your risk of heart disease, and even improve your lifespan. When you focus on the good things in life, your body responds by releasing feel-good hormones that help you feel better physically and mentally.
Chapter 10. Creating a Positive Environment. Sarah, we've talked a lot about how positive thinking starts within ourselves, but how do we create a positive environment around us?
That's an excellent point, John. The environment we surround ourselves with has a huge impact on our mindset. A positive environment encourages positive thinking and helps us maintain our motivation. If we're surrounded by negativity, it becomes much harder to stay positive.
So it's not just about how we think, it's also about the people and situations we expose ourselves to, right?
Exactly. The people you spend time with, the media you consume, even the physical space you're in, all of these factors can influence your mental state. If you're constantly around people who bring you down, or if you're consuming negative news all the time, it's much harder to stay positive.
That makes sense. How do we create a positive environment then?
Start by surrounding yourself with supportive, optimistic people, people who inspire and uplift you. These people will help reinforce your positive mindset and provide encouragement when things get tough. Also, take a look at your physical space. Are there things in your environment that make you feel stressed or drained? Maybe it's time to declutter or make your space more inviting and calming.
It sounds like our environment plays a significant role in shaping our mood and mindset.
It definitely does. Another key element is the media you consume. Try to avoid getting caught up in negativity, whether it's through social media, news, or other forms of entertainment. Instead, choose content that inspires, educates, and motivates you.
So positive thinking isn't just about what's inside, it's also about making sure that the outside world supports that mindset. Chapter 11. The Power of Daily Habits. Sarah, one thing that really fascinates me is how daily habits shape our mindset. Can you tell us more about the connection between positive thinking and our daily habits?
Absolutely, John. Our daily habits are the foundation of our mindset. What we do every day determines the way we think, feel, and act. If we're consistent with positive habits like practicing gratitude or setting goals, it helps reinforce the positive thinking we want to cultivate.
So it's not just about making big changes all at once. It's about small, consistent actions every day that add up over time.
Exactly. Small habits like taking a few minutes in the morning to meditate, writing down things you're grateful for, or setting positive intentions for the day. These practices all help rewire your brain for positivity. Over time, they become second nature and form the backbone of your mindset.
That sounds very doable. So it's less about waiting for a big breakthrough and more about making little changes each day.
Yes, and consistency is key. It's not about being perfect, it's about showing up every day and making small, positive changes. Before you know it, those habits will lead to a lasting transformation.
Chapter 12. Overcoming Self-Doubt. One challenge that many people face when trying to adopt a positive mindset is self-doubt. How do we overcome that inner voice that tells us we're not good enough?
That's such a common challenge, John. Self-doubt is something that we all face from time to time. But the good news is, you can overcome it with practice and the right mindset. First, it's important to recognize that self-doubt is normal. It doesn't mean you're incapable or unworthy.
So it's not about completely eliminating self-doubt, but rather learning how to manage it.
Exactly. Self-doubt doesn't have to control you. One way to manage it is by reframing negative thoughts. When you hear that inner voice saying, "You can't do this," counter it with a positive affirmation like, "I am capable and I've overcome challenges before." Remind yourself of your past successes and the strength you've shown in difficult situations.
I love that. It's about not letting self-doubt define who you are. What other strategies can help with overcoming self-doubt?
Another helpful strategy is to surround yourself with positive feedback. Seek out people who believe in you and encourage your growth. Their support can help drown out the negative voices, both external and internal. Also, take action. The more you step outside of your comfort zone, the more you'll prove to yourself that you're capable of handling new challenges.
So self-doubt often shrinks when we take action and build confidence through experience.
Exactly. The more you push through those moments of self-doubt, the more you'll realize that you are stronger than you think. And every time you succeed, even in small ways, your belief in yourself will grow.
Chapter 13. The Power of Visualization. Sarah, I've heard a lot about visualization and how it can help with positive thinking. Could you explain what it is and how it works?
Visualization is a technique where you create a mental image of a goal or outcome you want to achieve. It's like mentally rehearsing success before it happens. By vividly imagining yourself achieving your goals, you're training your brain to believe it's possible. The brain doesn't know the difference between real experiences and vividly imagined ones.
So by visualizing success, we're essentially preparing our minds for it.
Exactly. Visualization creates a sense of familiarity with success, making it easier to take action toward your goals. It boosts confidence, reduces anxiety, and helps you stay focused on what you want to achieve.
How often should someone practice visualization?
It's ideal to practice daily, especially first thing in the morning or right before bed when your mind is calm. The more often you visualize your success, the more real it will feel. You can visualize not only your goals, but also the process, how you'll get there, the steps you'll take, and how you'll handle challenges along the way.
Chapter 14. Positive Thinking in Challenging Times. Sarah, what about when things get tough? When we face major setbacks, loss, or challenges? How do we maintain a positive mindset during those times?
That's one of the toughest aspects of life, John. Maintaining a positive mindset in the face of adversity can feel almost impossible. But even in the hardest times, positive thinking can help you stay grounded. The key is to acknowledge your feelings and allow yourself to grieve or feel upset, but don't let those feelings define you. Instead, focus on what you can control.
So it's okay to feel sad or frustrated. The goal is to not let those emotions take over and prevent you from moving forward?
Exactly. When things get tough, it's important to remember that setbacks are part of the journey. They don't define your entire story. You have the strength to overcome whatever challenges come your way. And while you may not be able to change the situation, you can always change your response to it.
That's such an important perspective. How do we keep going when everything seems uncertain?
One strategy is to focus on the small victories. Even when the big picture seems overwhelming, break it down into smaller steps. Celebrate each small win along the way. This not only helps keep you motivated, but it also reminds you that progress is still being made, even in difficult times.
Chapter 15. Embracing change with a positive mindset. Sarah, one of the things that can really throw people off track is change. Whether it's a new job, a move to a new city, or any kind of major life shift, it can be overwhelming. How can positive thinking help us embrace change?
Change is a constant part of life, John, but that doesn't make it easy. It can be scary, especially when we feel like we're stepping into the unknown. But the key to embracing change is to shift your perspective. Instead of seeing change as something to fear, view it as an opportunity for growth and self-discovery.
So it's about reframing how we look at change, seeing it as a chance to grow rather than something to be afraid of.
Exactly. When we embrace change with a positive mindset, we become more adaptable, resilient, and open to new experiences. Instead of resisting change, we can choose to welcome it as part of our personal evolution. Every change brings new lessons and possibilities that can make our lives richer and more fulfilling.
That's such a healthy way to look at it. It's like we can find the silver lining even in the most challenging transitions.
Absolutely. A positive mindset helps us see the opportunities hidden within the challenges. And remember, when you change the way you look at things, the things you look at change. Embrace the unknown, and you'll be amazed at how much growth can come from it.
Chapter 17. The importance of self-care in positive thinking. Let's talk about self-care, Sarah. It's something that's often overlooked when we're caught up in our busy lives. But how does self-care relate to maintaining a positive mindset?
Self-care is absolutely essential, John. In order to maintain a positive mindset, we need to take care of our physical, mental, and emotional well-being. When we neglect ourselves, it becomes harder to stay positive, and we start to burn out. But when we make self-care a priority, we replenish our energy, which helps us stay grounded, focused, and resilient.
That makes so much sense. We can't pour from an empty cup, right?
Exactly. Self-care is about replenishing your energy so that you can show up as the best version of yourself, whether that's for your work, your relationships, or your personal growth. It could be something as simple as taking time to relax, meditate, exercise, or engage in activities that bring you joy.
It's about finding balance, isn't it?
Yes, it's about creating harmony in your life. When we take care of ourselves, we're better equipped to handle challenges and stay positive. Self-care isn't selfish. It's an investment in your overall well-being, and it's a key part of sustaining a positive mindset.
Chapter 18. Positive Thinking and Success. We've touched on so many great points, Sarah, and now I want to focus on how positive thinking leads to success. Can positive thinking truly impact our achievements?
Absolutely, John. Positive thinking is closely linked to success because it affects the way we approach challenges. When we think positively, we believe that we can succeed, and that belief drives our actions. Positive thinking helps us stay motivated, even in the face of setbacks, because we know that we're capable of overcoming obstacles.
So it's really about believing in the possibility of success even when things seem uncertain.
Exactly. When we believe that success is within our reach, we're more likely to take risks, put in the effort, and persist through challenges. Positive thinking creates a mindset of abundance, where we see opportunities instead of obstacles. This mindset helps us stay focused on our goals and take proactive steps toward achieving them.
I can see how that would be a game changer. A positive mindset fuels our actions and keeps us moving forward.
That's right. And even when things don't go as planned, a positive mindset allows us to view failure as a lesson rather than a defeat. Every failure brings us one step closer to success because it teaches us what we can do better next time.
Chapter 19. How to cultivate positive thinking in daily life. Now that we understand the importance of positive thinking, let's discuss how to cultivate it in our daily lives. What are some simple practices that can help us develop a more positive mindset every day?
There are several powerful practices, John, that anyone can incorporate into their daily routine. One of the most effective is starting your day with a positive affirmation. By saying something positive to yourself each morning, you set the tone for the day and reinforce a positive mindset.
I love that idea. It's like giving yourself a mental boost to start the day.
Exactly. Another great practice is gratitude. Take a moment each day to write down 3 things you're grateful for. Gratitude helps shift your focus from what's going wrong to what's going right, and it helps you develop a mindset of abundance and positivity.
Those sound like simple but powerful habits. Are there any other practices that can help?
Definitely. Practice mindfulness too. Being present in the moment and focusing on your breath can help you let go of negative thoughts and center your mind. Mindfulness helps you become more aware of your thoughts and emotions, allowing you to consciously choose positive responses instead of reacting automatically.
So mindfulness helps us become more intentional about our thoughts and actions.
Exactly. And don't forget about taking care of your body. Exercise, eat nutritious foods, and get enough rest. Your physical health is closely connected to your mental well-being, so taking care of your body can help support a positive mindset.
Chapter 20, Conclusion, the Transformative Power of Positive Thinking. As we wrap up today's episode, Sarah, I want to ask you, what's the biggest takeaway you want our audience to remember about positive thinking?
The biggest takeaway is that positive thinking isn't just about thinking happy thoughts. It's about choosing to see the world through a lens of possibility. It's about embracing challenges as opportunities to grow, believing in yourself, and taking consistent, intentional actions toward your goals.
So it's about cultivating a mindset that empowers you to face life with confidence and resilience.
Exactly. Positive thinking has the power to transform your life in ways you can't even imagine. It doesn't mean everything will be perfect, but it does mean you'll have the strength and clarity to navigate life's ups and downs with a positive outlook.
Well, that's a wrap for today's episode of English Broadcast Studio. We hope you leave here feeling inspired and ready to embrace the power of positive thinking in your own life.
Thank you so much for joining us. And remember, no matter what life throws your way, you have the power to choose your response. Stay positive, stay focused, and keep growing.
Until next time, keep thinking positively and making the most out of every day. Take care, everyone. Chapter 21. Positive Thinking and Overcoming Procrastination. Sarah, one challenge that a lot of people face when trying to stay positive is procrastination. It's so easy to put things off, especially when we're feeling overwhelmed. How can positive thinking help us overcome procrastination?
That's a great question, John. Procrastination often comes from a fear of failure or a feeling of being overwhelmed by the tasks at hand. When we have a positive mindset, we shift our focus from the fear of failure to the belief that we can tackle anything, no matter how big or small. Positive thinking helps us break tasks down into manageable steps, making them seem less daunting.
So, instead of thinking about the task as one big mountain to climb, we can break it into smaller, more achievable pieces.
Exactly. When we break things down, we feel less overwhelmed and more motivated to start. Each small task completed gives us a sense of accomplishment, which encourages us to keep going. Positive thinking also helps us reframe our thoughts about procrastination. Instead of seeing it as a failure or a weakness, we can view it as an opportunity to build discipline and take control of our time.
It sounds like a positive mindset can really help turn procrastination into a chance for growth.
Absolutely. And one other key strategy is to focus on the why. When you're clear about why you want to complete a task, it becomes easier to take that first step. Whether it's to achieve a long-term goal, help someone, or simply improve your life, connecting with your purpose can be a powerful motivator.
Chapter 22. The Impact of Positive Thinking on Mental Health.
One of the most powerful benefits of positive thinking, Sarah, is its impact on mental health. How does maintaining a positive mindset affect our mental well-being?
Great question, John. Positive thinking has a profound effect on mental health. When we focus on the positive aspects of life, we train our brains to avoid rumination and negative thinking patterns that can contribute to anxiety and depression. By thinking positively, we create a mindset that promotes calmness, happiness, and emotional balance.
So it's about changing the way we approach our thoughts, right? Instead of getting stuck in negative patterns, we choose to focus on the positive.
Exactly. Positive thinking helps break the cycle of negative thoughts that can keep us trapped in mental distress. It encourages us to practice gratitude, mindfulness, and self-compassion, key tools in improving mental well-being. Positive thinking also promotes a growth mindset, where we see challenges as opportunities to learn rather than obstacles that define our limitations.
It sounds like positive thinking helps us take control of our thoughts and, in turn, our emotional state.
Yes, that's exactly right. And while it doesn't eliminate all negative emotions, it gives us the tools to manage them better. The more we practice positive thinking, the more resilient we become, and the less power negativity has over us.
Chapter 24, Positive Thinking in the Workplace. Let's shift gears a little, Sarah. How does positive thinking affect our performance in the workplace?
Positive thinking has a major impact on our performance at work. When we maintain a positive attitude, we're more likely to stay motivated, productive, and engaged with our tasks. Positive thinking helps us approach challenges with a can-do attitude, which makes it easier to find solutions and stay proactive.
So it's not just about being optimistic, it's about staying proactive and focused on results.
Exactly. Positive thinking makes us more resilient when setbacks occur. Instead of getting bogged down by mistakes or failures, we see them as learning experiences and opportunities to improve. A positive mindset also helps us build strong relationships with colleagues, as we tend to be more supportive, collaborative, and solution-oriented.
I love that. It's amazing how a positive mindset can not only boost individual performance, but also enhance the overall work environment. Chapter 24, The Connection Between Positive Thinking and Personal Growth. Let's talk about personal growth, Sarah. How does positive thinking play a role in our own personal development?
Positive thinking is at the core of personal growth. It shapes the way we perceive ourselves and the world around us. When we have a positive mindset, we believe that we are capable of change and growth, and that belief propels us to take action. Positive thinking encourages us to set ambitious goals, face challenges with confidence, and keep pushing forward, even when progress is slow.
So positive thinking helps us believe that growth is possible no matter where we're starting from.
Exactly. Personal growth isn't always a linear journey. There will be ups and downs, and sometimes we'll encounter setbacks. But with a positive mindset, we understand that these setbacks don't define us. Instead, they provide valuable lessons that help us grow stronger and more capable. Positive thinking helps us view failures as stepping stones, not roadblocks.
That's such an empowering way to look at setbacks. It's like every obstacle is just part of the path to growth.
Exactly. And as we continue to grow and evolve, positive thinking keeps us motivated and energized. It helps us stay focused on our long-term vision, even when things get tough. When we believe in our own potential, we create the opportunities for growth to manifest.
Chapter 25, Positive Thinking and Building Confidence. One of the most powerful outcomes of positive thinking is increased confidence. Sarah, how does maintaining a positive mindset help us build confidence?
Positive thinking is essential for building self-confidence because it helps us reframe our thoughts about ourselves. When we consistently think positively, we start to believe in our own abilities. We recognize our strengths and achievements rather than focusing on our perceived shortcomings.
So it's about shifting the focus from what we can't do to what we can do.
Exactly. Positive thinking encourages self-empowerment. Instead of comparing ourselves to others, we focus on our own progress and growth. Every positive thought reinforces our belief that we are capable, worthy, and deserving of success. And when we build that internal confidence, it starts to reflect in our actions and interactions with others.
I love that idea of focusing on our own journey rather than external comparisons. It seems like that's a big part of building lasting self-confidence.
Yes, it's about embracing your unique path and understanding that you are enough, just as you are. Positive thinking helps us cultivate a mindset of self-love and respect, which is the foundation of true confidence.
Chapter 26, The Positive Thinking and the Law of Attraction. A lot of people talk about the law of attraction and how positive thinking can manifest good things in our lives. What's your take on this, Sarah?
The law of attraction is based on the idea that what you think about most often is what you attract into your life. Positive thinking is a key part of this law because when we focus on positive thoughts, we're more likely to attract positive experiences, people, and opportunities. Our mindset shapes the energy we put out into the world, and that energy influences what we attract back.
So by maintaining a positive mindset, we're aligning ourselves with the energy we want to attract into our lives.
Exactly. Positive thinking helps us stay focused on our desires and goals rather than being distracted by fears or doubts. It raises our vibration, so to speak, and attracts more of what we want into our lives. The key is to believe that what we want is possible and worthy of our efforts.
It sounds like the law of attraction works hand in hand with a positive mindset.
Yes, they are deeply connected. When we think positively, we set ourselves up for success, and we start to notice more opportunities that align with our goals. The law of attraction is not just about wishful thinking, it's about putting out positive energy and taking inspired action toward your dreams.
Chapter 27, The Role of Faith in Positive Thinking. Sarah, another powerful component of maintaining a positive mindset is faith. How does faith play a role in positive thinking?
Great question, John. Faith plays a significant role in positive thinking. It's not just about religious faith, but having a deep belief in yourself, in the process, and in the possibilities of life. When you have faith, you trust that things will work out in the end, even if you can't see the way forward right now. Faith keeps you grounded and hopeful, no matter the circumstances.
So faith is about trusting the journey even when the path isn't clear.
Exactly. Faith helps you take action even when the results aren't immediate or guaranteed. It's the inner knowing that you are moving in the right direction, even if you can't yet see the full picture. Faith allows you to keep going despite challenges because you believe in the outcome and you believe that your efforts are making a difference.
It's almost like faith is the fuel for a positive mindset. It helps us stay motivated and continue to push forward.
Yes, exactly. Faith helps us trust the process, be patient with ourselves, and keep the bigger picture in mind. With faith, you can weather any storm and emerge stronger and more determined. It's an essential part of living a positive, resilient life. Chapter 28. The impact of positive thinking on financial success.
Sarah, we've discussed positive thinking in many areas of life, but let's talk about money and finances. How can positive thinking influence financial success?
Positive thinking can have a huge impact on our financial success. It shapes the way we approach money, wealth, and opportunities. People with a positive mindset tend to view money as a tool for growth and abundance, rather than something to be feared or restricted. They're more likely to take calculated risks, invest in opportunities, and have an abundance mindset, rather than a scarcity mindset.
So it's about seeing money as a tool for creating possibilities rather than something we need to hoard or fear.
Exactly. Positive thinking helps us attract financial opportunities by focusing on abundance and believing that we deserve success. It also helps us overcome negative beliefs or fears around money, such as the fear of failure or the belief that we'll never be financially successful.
With a positive mindset, we can break through these barriers and build the wealth we desire.
I love that idea, using positive thinking to break free from financial scarcity and open ourselves to abundance.
Yes, and positive thinking also helps us stay focused on our financial goals, maintain discipline with saving and investing, and keep a healthy attitude toward money. It's not about chasing wealth, it's about aligning with abundance, making smart financial decisions, and allowing yourself to receive what you deserve.
Chapter 29, Positive Thinking in Relationships. We've discussed how positive thinking can improve our health, careers, and financial success. But what about relationships? How could a positive mindset improve our personal connections with others?
Positive thinking has a profound impact on relationships. When you approach your relationships with a positive mindset, you're more likely to be compassionate, understanding, and supportive. Positive thinking helps us see the best in others, focus on their strengths, and be more forgiving of their flaws.
So, positive thinking helps us be better partners, friends, and family members by encouraging empathy and kindness.
Exactly. It allows us to focus on the good qualities in others and appreciate them for who they are, rather than getting bogged down by their shortcomings or mistakes. Positive thinking also helps us communicate better, resolve conflicts more easily, and create a more harmonious environment in our relationships.
I think that's such an important point. It's easy to get caught up in the little frustrations, but positive thinking helps us shift our focus toward building stronger, more supportive relationships.
Yes, and when you adopt a positive mindset, you become a magnet for positive energy. The more positivity you put into your relationships, the more you will receive back. It creates a cycle of kindness, love, and mutual support that helps everyone grow and thrive.
Chapter 30. How to stay positive in the face of adversity. Life can sometimes throw us curveballs, and it's not always easy to stay positive when we're facing adversity. Sarah, how do we stay positive in the face of life's challenges?
That's a tough but an important question, John. Staying positive in the face of adversity requires practice, resilience, and a shift in perspective. One key strategy is to remember that everything is temporary. Difficult situations may feel overwhelming in the moment, but they won't last forever. Positive thinking helps us stay focused on the bigger picture and reminds us that we have the strength to get through hard times.
So it's about reminding ourselves that challenges are just part of the journey, and they won't define us in the long run.
Exactly. Another strategy is to take things one step at a time. When we face adversity, it can feel like there's so much to deal with at once. But focusing on small, manageable tasks can make the situation feel less overwhelming. Each small step forward is a victory, and it helps build momentum to keep going.
That makes sense. Focusing on small wins keeps us motivated and helps us stay positive even in difficult times.
Yes, and it's also important to surround yourself with positive influences during tough times. Seek out supportive people, engage in activities that lift your spirits, and practice self-care. The more we nurture our mental and emotional well-being, the better we can cope with adversity and maintain a positive mindset.
Chapter 31. The long-term benefits of positive thinking.
As we wrap up this journey, Sarah, let's talk about the long-term benefits of positive thinking. How can a positive mindset shape our future?
The long-term benefits of positive thinking are truly transformational. When we make positive thinking a habit, it becomes a part of who we are, and it influences everything we do. Over time, we build resilience, emotional intelligence, and a deep belief in our own abilities. We attract more opportunities, we form stronger relationships, and we experience greater happiness and success.
It sounds like positive thinking doesn't just affect our present moment, it changes the trajectory of our entire lives.
Exactly. The more we practice positive thinking, the more we align ourselves with our goals and desires. We stop seeing ourselves as victims of circumstance and start seeing ourselves as creators of our own reality. Over the long term, this mindset shift can lead to a more fulfilling, meaningful, and successful life.
That's such a beautiful way to look at it. Positive thinking isn't just about short-term fixes. It's about creating lasting, positive change in every area of our lives.
Yes, and the most amazing thing is that the power to create that change is already within us. Positive thinking is a choice we make every day, and with each choice, we're shaping a brighter, more successful future.
As we close out today's episode of English Broadcast Studio, we want to remind you that positive thinking is a powerful tool that can transform your life. It's not always easy, but with practice, it becomes second nature, and the rewards are endless.
That's right, John. No matter where you are on your journey, remember that you have the power to choose your thoughts, your attitude, and your actions. The more you focus on the positive, the more you'll attract positivity into your life.
Thank you so much for joining us today. We hope this episode has inspired you to harness the power of positive thinking and create the life you deserve.
Stay positive, stay strong, and keep moving forward. Until next time, take care, and remember, you are in control of your thoughts, your future, and your happiness.